Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I am putting together these super sleek white C-shaped side tables that I grabbed on Amazon. So I'm just having everything laid out right now to get ready to put it together. So we're going to see how easy it is. It looks pretty easy. So we'll see. So first thing, everything came nicely packed in the box as you've seen. It's 2 tabletops, got the 4 legs, and all the tools are included. So the first thing I needed to do was to line up the legs with the base, make sure that it's facing the correct way. The screws for this part seem like they went in pretty smooth. Again, you don't need any power tools, just what was included, which was the Allen wrench. So this part was pretty easy, just trying to line it up and make sure that it was sturdy so I could screw everything in. Then the next part was doing, of course, the other side. That was a little tricky. It seemed like the first side was easier to do than this side. As you can see, I'm struggling a little bit. But it just seems like things just weren't on this side lining up. But I tightened it up, so it was fine. The next thing I wanted to do was to put the little legs on the bottom. And that just keeps, of course, keeps it from scraping on the ground and scratching up your floor. So those were simple to put in. That was like probably the easiest part of the whole process. And everything lined up with putting those on. So that was super, super simple. So these were $70 for 2. So that wasn't a bad price. Next thing, I did the top part, the base for the top. These were pretty easy if I can remember putting them on. I think that took me like a few minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And then now it's time for the bottom base to go on. So had to line those up with the 4 holes that are at the bottom. It's starting to come together, but I'm going to tell you this part right here, getting these aligned, it seemed like the holes weren't, I guess you could say they weren't cut right, because one end of this took me a minute to get the screw in there. And then, don't tighten it too much, because if you tighten it too much, you will hear the wood crack. So, tighten it, but don't put your muscle in it. So yes, this part, it took a minute for me to get all the screws in there and get everything aligned. Then, so that was put on. And then the last piece is the actual top of the table. And that was pretty easy to line up everything. Everything lined up really smooth. And it took me maybe, I would say maybe a minute for me to like screw the top on. Like I said, that gave me no issues at all. So it's pretty simple. Last 4 screws. And here you go. Thanks for watching.